at the death, 33 points to 26 against Pat Lamb's Bristol Bears. A try in the 87th minute when that game looked destined to end with 3 points apiece in a draw, which would have completely changed the complexion of the Pool 2 table. More on those permutations as the evening goes on, but it's all to play for Benetton and La Rochelle. Depending on how events go in Dublin, La Rochelle, of course, could still finish top of the pool. That home draw, the home seeding, so important throughout the knockout stages. And for Benetton, well, the prize potentially of knockout rugby in the Champions Cup, something that has eluded them down the years. All smiles for Matthew Carty, the man in charge this evening. Ian Tempest is the television match official. Tomei alongside me, and you don't often see Ronan O'Gara pleased in defeat. I'm not sure he was pleased last week, but he saw the positives from what was a rising display from La Rochelle, which took them back to a level that he feels a lot of people thought that the La Rochelle side couldn't get to this season.
Yeah, look, I think it's really interesting when you come into French rugby, you get the highs and lows, and potentially someone like Ronan O'Gara will bring a bit more of a level-headedness to the way that he manages that team, and that's obviously where he's getting the most out of them. Brilliant effort against Leinster, with opportunities for both of these teams tonight.
Darkness descends across the Stadio Monigo, a tough place to come for any side. Bath found that out a few weeks ago in round 2 when they came here and were turned over. Before we get underway, a moment's silence. So a reminder as we prepare to get underway, Pool 2 of the Champions Cup. Leinster out in front, top of the table, 13 points from their opening 3 matches, followed by La Rochelle and Clermont now, who both have 10 points. Crucially, of course, La Rochelle played a game fewer than Clermont. They are finished up with a maximum of 10 points. They can't do any better than that. Bath in 4th, and as it stands before we kick off, Benetton in 5th position, which would be good enough for a place in the Challenge Cup. That is now the consolation prize on offer for Benetton. If things don't go their way this afternoon, they've gone deep into the Challenge Cup in the last couple of seasons, but if they can get something from this evening's game, they have every chance potentially of passing out Bath or Clermont for a spot in the knockout rounds in the Champions Cup, and that would be quite something for Marco Bortolami's side.
Use it!
High into the sky it goes, tight to this near touchline. Expect a fast start from the home side. They'll need to settle into their rhythm and ensure that La Rochelle don't get up ahead of steam, and straight away the French side looking to put the ball in the hands of some of those big ball carriers. Winnie Antonio, principal among those, all 147 kilograms or thereabouts.
Well, that's the key to stopping this La Rochelle backline. Have to gain parity at the gain line. The defensive system has to be on point from a Benetton perspective. There's no way that you can let Antonio get on the front foot.
7 on your feet, please. Play the game on your feet.
La Rochelle player deemed to be off his feet, not supporting his body weight. And the first penalty of the evening after 70 seconds goes the way of the home side. Benetton, Rhino Smith lining up the kick. Scored some brilliant tries in what was a pulsating, really open game last week. Benetton, and Rhino Smith chief amongst those. Scored a beautiful try, was also supplier for 1 or 2 others. Menincello's try in particular. This backline that Benetton have, they don't always get the ball, but well, they're so powerful, so quick, dynamic and athletic.
He's not short of a yard of pace, is he, Rhino Smith? Rapid.
He just goes about his business week in, week out. in some respects, in some quarters, underrated. He is that good.
It's probably one of the areas that we've seen an improvement from Benetton from those years ago, where they probably would have got battered week in, week out. But that level of consistency that's come from bringing the learnings that they get from those imported players, it's improved the Italian system, improved the Italian pathway. And now we're seeing much better performances from them.
2 tries in that game against Bath for Rhino Smith that I mentioned, and 1 brilliant try. That's lovely hands from Garbisi, coming into the team at number 9 this evening in place of Andy Uren. Manuel Giuliani's having a super season, so much so that Michele Lamaro is often shifted across that blindside flank, or indeed, as he finds himself this evening, on the bench.
Yeah, it's interesting when I was writing the teams out when they came out a couple of days ago. You look at the players that are in the Benetton side, not only in the team but on the bench, and you're like, you know what? On paper, yeah, this is a decent outfit.
100%. You can. Referee's mic is a little low, but you can probably hear Matthew Carley saying there is head contact in that collision. He seemed to suggest there was significant mitigation when he saw it live, but it's worth an official review. So he's in conversation with Ian Tempest here.
Okay, so first of all, Tempo, we need to see if there's definitely head contact and whether it's foul play.
But yeah, I couldn't agree more, Tom. It's a very strong Benetton lineup. It's 13 full test internationals starting and 4 or 5 more on the bench.
Okay, it looks like a clear head contact.
So there is something here for the officials to adjudicate on, that's for sure.
It's not often you find
but that's all right.
scrum halves in that position. Oh, it's definitely head on head, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we do have head contact, and we do believe it's foul play because the player is not bent at the waist. Okay, I think we can. Degree of danger. So can we see that just once more in full speed? We definitely have a mitigating factors whether we enter at yellow and go to penalty, or whether we go enter at red and go to yellow.
Well, that's the process that Matthew Carley has quite clearly taken us through. There is a significant
so the player is
height difference
moving into the contact,
between
so I believe it is high danger, but we will
Carvalho
mitigate
and
because of that
that's
drop
for
in height,
sure.
Okay, what's number 9?
And as he said, the scrum half isn't bent significantly at the hips to avoid the sanction of a yellow card. So a huge setback early in the game. Maybe a bit of a shiner as well.
On the cross.
Sorry, Connor. There, it's interesting what you can do now as a team. I've played in teams before, and every back player gets their head looking. They've got their eyes on the deck. Please don't put me at scrum half. It's a horrible position to have to make shift in.
Timing, wait for the throw.
Really tough 10 minutes coming up for La Rochelle.
So they'll have to cope without any significant influence and experience of Carvalho. Just looking around, I think Menanchello has been called ashore potentially for a head injury assessment as well. Meanwhile, Benetton in the ascendancy and on the attack, coming forward.
No, 5, get out, 5, get out.
Snaffled in midfield, slowed down effectively. Into the hands again now of Ignacio Brex. Huge game at Ashton Gate against Bristol last week. He was absolutely superb on both sides of the ball. Full energy, as you might expect, taken on by Nicola Canoni, and then charged down and fly hacked through. The chase is on for Jegu, and it might just drop into his hands. Can he get all the way? Very tight to that try. The touchline over on the far side, and very tight in the end to the try line. Hasn't quite done enough. Surely he couldn't from there. All his own work.
Out, off the line, off the line.
That was the wrong option from Garbisi. Everyone else, aside from Alessandro Issacour, was on the open side.
4.
More defenders than attackers. And he did well, didn't he? Jegu.
Stay, 2 meters.
And there he is with 7 on his back. He's the arch poacher at line-out time. 2 brilliant steals last week against Leinster. They nearly almost need to keep the ball away from him inside the opening 5 minutes. This is the type of rugby you see on the final weekend of the Investec Champions Cup. End-to-end stuff. Pinned back Benetton, and here they come forward, counter-punching all the way up to halfway in the blink of an eye. Lightning quick start to the game. Albornoz gets his team moving forward. Taken on by Tomas Gajo. We don't want to see him in open country, and then not expecting the pass this time was Nacho Breck's knock-on advantage. Hold on to your hats momentarily. This one is quite frenetic. Dylan Lades, we know all about his footwork. Brilliant try, exceptional finish last week, and Jack Noel was such a live wire against Leinster.
No lift, penalty advantage.
What was a knock-on advantage is now a penalty advantage. And that man, Oscar Jégu, recently included in Fabien Galtier's upcoming Six Nations squad. Hastoy on that short line to his captain, Aldreet. And they come again. Jules Favre keeping his place in midfield alongside Uge Sauteni this week. The La Rochelle midfield overshadowed perhaps a little bit last week by their Leinster counterparts. They want to lay down a marker this evening. Still no Jonathan Dante, of course. Back we go for the offside. It's quick and fast.
It's a brilliant first attack from Benetton. As soon as they got in behind La Rochelle, support lines coming left, right and centre. In that play, you don't often see that. Nacho Breck's just half asleep. That ball, he was definitely not expecting that, but as a player, if you are an option, you have to be alive to the ball coming to you.
Just best to clear the area. You played the ball.
So a player in the bin. No surprise to see that the option is to endeavour to take 3 points. A little bit of a mixed bag last week from Antoine Hastoy. Leinster missed 1 or 2, but I'm sure he was quietly very frustrated by the fact that not just the drop goal was charged down, but he left 5 points on the post as well with a missed penalty and conversion. Just sneaks it in by that left upright, but it's enough to register the first points of the evening in Italy for the team down to 14. It's La Rochelle who strike first here.
A perfect opportunity for La Rochelle not only to slow the clock down, but to play that perfect match day away from home. Just chip away at the scoreboard, apply pressure to the home team.
Tackle, away.
Aldreet who gathers.
Use it. Taken in.
A superb battle with the Ireland captain Keelan Doris last week. The 2 8s in their own right, absolutely superb. Into orbit it goes from Albornoz.
All open
Rhino
play,
Swift
play
just
on.
lost the flight of it, and he's put his 10 under a little bit of pressure here. 2 10s collide, and somehow
First player.
the open side, Jégu has turned that over for his team and got it into the hands of Kaduri now, who sets off in search of the gain line.
He's being trapped, he's being trapped.
Dylan Lades into play scrum half. Aldreet now, first up.
No lift.
Always making meters, even against the likes of Ellie Snyman, the towering 6'7" second row for
Back
Benetton.
off White.
Picked up here by Alessandro Izaker. Really physical, dynamic player. He's keeping 1 or 2 established names out of this Benetton side for the moment at least. That's clever from Hastoy. It's getting better all the while.
No 5. Thank you. All on.
Bumping clearance from Garbisi, but it'll come right back
Not
at
50,
Benetton.
Probably not out of the centre of the club, but he'll take it. Again, La Rochelle just playing the percentages, aren't they? Happy to just kick the ball back down into space. Good recognition of space initially from Hastoy. when he kicked that ball deep, not necessarily that one. Quite happy to just wait for the opportunity, aren't they? That's the sign of a good team that doesn't feel like they're having to force the game. They're quite content to wait for those chances to be presented.
Maili is okay to continue. The 27-year-old Tongan hooker, 15 times capped.
It'll be a fair contest, boys. Listen. Up for the ball, not across, okay? Thank you.
Played for Tonga against England in the pool stages of the Rugby World Cup back in 2019, and only a few months prior to that he was playing club rugby in Christchurch and working part-time as a roofer. It was quite the ascent to World Cup heights. Scars of battle
backwards.
evident on the face of Tawera Carbarlo as he keeps himself ready for his return. It's been a pretty good 6 minutes from La Rochelle down to 14. Managing the game in terms of territory and possession effectively. Now Garbisi's got to try and take control of this game. Decent kick, and it was contestable. Leonardo Marin in for Manoncello, who, if he doesn't return by way of that field HIA, it will be a big loss for this Benetton side, no doubt about that. Even out of position on the wing, still so effective. Bryce Dulin, Antonio, straight away two big Benetton players converge and try and act as a speed bump of sorts against the huge tight head prop. Now Astoy, options left and right.
On the shoulder.
There's that man I was talking about, Isakori, so physical. Lades deputising well thus far at scrum half.
Yeah, managing that process really well. Whoever's first to the breakdown just looked and watched. Jegu, Jack Noel and Dylan Lades all filling in brilliantly. They're not playing expansive rugby. They're not testing those players to have to get to the breakdown. Whoever's first, pick it up, let's play.
Case in point there, not once but twice from Greg Aldreet. It was a lovely pop off the floor, and then when no one was home, he picked and went on his own, and it's a relatively cheap penalty.
It's actually playing into their hands as well, isn't it? Because they're not doing anything too flash, but they're winning collisions, they're getting on the front foot. Benetton just desperate to get their hands on the ball. Coming off their feet, there's no way. Well, it's pretty difficult when you have someone that size fall on top of you to maintain your balance.
Suliani pinged by Matthew Carley. Really good autumn series for him as well. Still only 24, the open side flanker. Played the full game against New Zealand in the autumn. Almost identical position from where he scored the previous one. Again, he's put it quite tight to that left upright, but that's his line of sight, and he's quite pleased. And so they double their advantage, 6 points to 0.
Well, in terms of game management, this couldn't be any better from La Rochelle. Very, very intelligent play, and that man, his teammates have looked after him.
Signalling their acumen at this level to manage the game, manage the field position, take their points accordingly. This competition becomes so much more difficult when you have to go on the road in the knockout stages. History tells us that for many a long year they would love to come out of here with the full complement of points and hope that maybe Bath might do something in their favour in Dublin. We will see as the evening pans out. Now then, that's a little bit loose, and it affords the opportunity for Rhino Smith. Gets his pass away to Marin. Leonardo Marin up to 5 metres. Promising position this for Benetton. Hands in there from Greg Aldreet. He won't get away with that. Outstretched arm of the referee signalling penalty advantage, and it's all hands to the pump here for La Rochelle. That was a lovely little offload back inside. No one offering real width though on the left hand side of the field initially for Benetton at least. Garbisi flat to the line to that man, Thomas Gaggio, and he's so difficult to stop and almost impossible at times to put down. And he's got electric pace for a prop forward. Oh, there's a little gap, well exploited.
Okay.
Nicolo Cannone. And they've been pinned back in their own half of the field for the last 10 minutes or so, but they find their way forward and they find their way to the try line. Big moment in the game for Benetton.
Well, they might have managed this 10-minute period pretty well, La Rochelle, but I'm not sure there's anything to where a Carvalho would have done anything different there. Brilliant play from Benetton, getting on the front foot. Oh, I tell you what, he'll have that on his highlight reel for the rest of his career, Nicolo Cannone. But shows you the benefit of being able to stay on your feet, fight through contact, and just remain in the game. If you go to the ground too early, it just allows the team to compete, try and steal the ball. Thomas Gaggio just spinning, moving his body weight. That's what eventually rids himself of the defenders. And then that extra 2-3 meters is a killer for La Rochelle.
Well, they had numbers, there was lots of options, lots of fleet-footed backline players outside him, but he spotted the gap. Full advantage, 7 points to 6. A real show of strength and intent from
inside
this talented Benetton side. They'll need the full 80-minute performance, though, if they're to try and hold a torch to La Rochelle and their star names. Garbisi, thumping kick, huge hang time on it. Brilliantly watched, but the kick chase was good as well. Led inevitably by speedy Rhino Smith.
Backwards.
La Rochelle won't panic. Too much experience and nous for that.
Use it.
Quite happy, aren't they, to just slow the ball down, kick it quite high up the field and just say, right, we're not going to play in our own third. You can have the ball way back in your own territory, Benetton.
Not now, Jack.
Certainly Benetton have proved enough times this season, whether in Europe or in the United Rugby Championship, that they are a significant counter-attacking threat. Aimless kicks or profligate kicks may be punished. Maile is okay, showing no ill effects from that little bit of treatment he had a few moments ago. Advantage over for the knock-on now, so Albornoz gets his team moving once again into the hands of the younger of the two Cannone brothers, Lorenzo.
Inside the 22. Inside the 22. Ball still live.
Evidence again of that willingness to go to set piece, find your touch and just start the game over again.
When you've got the quality up front that La Rochelle have, they'll back themselves to try and at least be a pain in the backside at line-out time at set piece. But again, just reinforcing that point that Benetton, that's fine, you can have the ball, but it's way back in your own half. What are you going to do?
Good contest, and they've pinched one, La Rochelle. Quickly, they move it to width and all the way out to Leeds. And you could hear the Benetton players appealing. Maliki Fekitoa loves that. So first a turnover from the line out and then on the floor from Benetton.
He's brilliant at that. He's built like a back rower, isn't he? Maliki Fekitoa. If ever there's someone that hasn't missed leg day, it may well be him.
It was interesting, that little spell he had at Munster where there was a lot of stuff going on in the background in terms of relocating family members and such like, and it wasn't really until he'd signed a contract to come to Benetton that Munster saw the best of his rugby, and then towards the end of the season they were disappointed to lose him. A class player for sure. We saw it in Wasps, and well, many times, 24 times I think with New Zealand, and more recently with Tonga. Did you see enough in the La Rochelle performance last week to think that they're back to their very best, and on their day they can take on the heavy heights?
I think so, and you know, I've watched them a fair bit during the top 14, and okay, they might not be right at the top, but they're there or thereabouts. And then you look at the quality of the team, and you're like, do you know what? If they just get a bit of momentum, a bit of run of form. A bit like we were talking before about Northampton as well. Does their win against Munster sort of galvanise their season? I think La Rochelle are in that same space. You mentioned the likes of Dante. He's been in and out a fair bit. Having that consistency of players available definitely helped Ronan O'Gara and his team gain momentum.
It's so difficult, isn't it, to do it year after year, season after season, particularly in the top 14, where it's relentless week in, week out. Actually started the domestic campaign reasonably well. 4 wins in their opening 5. The only defeat in that stretch was against Toulouse, and then things fell apart a little bit. Lost 4 of their next 6. Audrey gets his pass away, but look at that defensive line speed. Fekito again leading the charge, and it's forced the knock on.
And that wasn't the flashiest of set-piece moves. Aldrich took the ball straight to the line. Should 100% carried on into the contact area. It was under pressure. It was a poor pass from him, and then put Setani under a huge amount of pressure. And one thing you don't want to be when you're opposite Malachi Fekitoa is under pressure and having to try and struggle to catch the ball.
Make sure we keep the space. Crouch! Fine!
Alessandro Garbisi preparing to feed the scrum. Started the round 1 encounter in the Champions Cup, and then found himself on the bench against Bath and Bristol, but back in that number 9 shirt this evening. Now then, penalty advantage gives options to the home side here. Garbisi's immediate intent is to sling it wide, and CM2 from Alborno's Leonardo Marin having to adapt to fill the boots of Menoncello on the wing. Quite comfortable at fullback or fly half. And they're coming back for that penalty.
Surely got to be 3 points from a Benetton perspective.
Number 1, he went
Isaacor didn't really have any interest, did he? He was pointing directly at the post. Forwards, no interest. Tells a story.
Go anywhere back.
Ball and play time has been so high, and quite a number of the knock-on advantages have been played out.
Yeah, that's fine.
Penalty this time because the set piece will be a flashpoint. There's some very good scrummagers in that Benetton team. Simone Ferrari there locking horns with Alexandra Kaduri, for example. It's gone the way of the tight head for Benetton on this occasion. Assistant referees wanted to have a good look at that, almost pulled it to the right hand side, but it sneaks through, and that is a big reward from the scrum penalty. Another player who had a really good autumn series, starting against Ireland and France, try against Italy in November for the Pumas. 4th season now at Benetton for Thomas Albornoz. He's getting better all the while.
Tackle.
Isaacor it is who takes the restart. 10 points to 6. Very lively opening 24 minutes. And full credit to Benetton for playing their part in it.
Use it.
Not a Huge amount of distance on that one from Garvisi. He's annoyed with himself. Oh, that's extravagant in the extreme, and brilliantly plucked out of the air by Jack Noel.
No.
Is that the platform that La Rochelle need to launch something to try and regain the advantage in this game? Oh, that's a staggered back line from Benetton. The hands are sublime up towards the 22. Benetton there over the ball again. This time they don't have rights to it and can't turn it over. Recycled, and they go again, and Aldreed. So often you think you have him snared, and he manages to wriggle free. And now Hastoy. This is better from La Rochelle. Purposeful and quick, slick hands and quick at the breakdown. Seteni snaffled by Issacourt. Are there gaps around the fringes? All hands to the pump here for Benetton to protect their lead and protect their try line. 25 minutes in, how long can they hold out? Noel has a one-on-one on the outside, crawling hands and feet all the way to the try line. But his experience and his knowledge of exactly where the try line is gets him there. Momentum helping too. It was building, it was coming, and it's a brilliant finish.
It's an extraordinary try from La Rochelle. Brilliance everywhere. Even from the big man, Uini Antonio. Excellent circle ball, good finish from Jack Noel. Buys himself a bit of time, uses his physicality, just wears that contact from Rhino Smith and then pumps the legs, keeps the feet chopping at the ground. That's what gets him over the line, but that's a brilliant try. 2 backdoor passes. I mean, that from Carballo was ridiculous.
In Tempest is looking at this all the while to make absolutely sure in terms of the grinding. He too, like many of us, might just be flummoxed as to exactly how Jack Noel has managed to not lose that ball forward.
It was actually Brex who made the tackle, and his momentum, I think, helped Jack Noel in terms of grounding the ball. But what a try from La Rochelle. Spent so much time just kicking the ball deep to Benetton, saying, right, you play to us. And it almost came from nothing, didn't it? You mentioned it, just that flip pass from Carballo, that ignited everything.
Yeah. Just created all that chaos and uncertainty, the unorthodox.
Tackle!
Seteni that time swallowed up by a flurry of black shirts. Enterprising kick from Hastoy. Full extension from Albornoz just to get back there and cover the ground and find himself in a comfortable position.
That's a tactical win, isn't it, for La Rochelle? Huge kick from Hastoy. Not really a huge amount that can be done by Albornoz in that position. I mean, it's a decent clearance from him, but La Rochelle net gain, ball back in hand.
In or out? In or out? In. No, out, 10.
Lespiak finds his jumpers, and around the corner he comes, and nice and flat short pass then in for what was a heavy contact to the onrushing Favre.
Been good, isn't he, in his opening half an hour? Real handful.
He's been available and physical, body on the line kind of stuff.
On your feet, please. On your feet, both of you.
The referee in the perfect position to award Benetton. It's another error from La Rochelle. A little bit of claret spilled as well, and Malaki Fekatoa suitably pumped, as you can see.
11. Head injury. Time off.
And someone's going to have to go off for a HIA, I feel.
11's going for a head injury assessment.
Meanwhile, I don't think it was that collision which opened up Nacho Brex.
No, that's right. We've stopped. Looks like a head.
It's Dylan Blades, I think, who's making his way off here for La Rochelle. So plenty going on. And as we approach the half-hour mark, there's confirmation of that switch, be it temporary or otherwise.
If Bosmarin gets the ball, look out. The pitch literally lights up. He is rapid. Saw him with the French under-20s. and ripped teams apart, including England. Fantastic player.
Still only 20 and such a prospect. So exciting. Well, it's prime field position for Benetton now. Still playing with 14 until Nacho Brex repositions his headgear, having been strapped up. To the front they go again, and it's Aldreet, I think, that time, who was making a nuisance of himself.
Stay onside. Thank you.
Costly. Good defensive work from La Rochelle. Rhino Smith dancing and darting and evading a couple of would-be big hits. BC again. Oh, Borno's over the top. Oh, goodness me, that was a basketball clutch and a half. Is, of course, some of the Benetton supporters haven't heard the whistle. It was a shrill blast, and he always looked to be out of pitch on the far side. This is a great reach. Oh, was he?
He wasn't in touch. Have they called that for
they
forward?
called it forward, maybe. The assistant referee was right in line.
Come on, let's play.
A great ball, good recognition of space. Bosman just taking the taste off the ball himself. It bought him half a second to get the ball over the top to Issacourt. He's probably right. Disappointing. Yeah, that would have been a great try as well.
Yeah.
Crouch!
Probably correct.
Bind! Set!
Down in a heap again. This time it's just a free kick, and La Rochelle quickly about their business. Hastoy getting them moving again.
Stop, thank you. Good discipline.
That's a very, very good kick. That is excellent. It's a 50-22. Superbly judged.
It's a brilliant kick from Dulin, but it's a brilliant kick based on the fact that it was a ridiculously bad pass that he had to catch. He got himself too flat. Let's say the actual passer was okay. He got himself too flat. He was in a bad position, got himself in a horrible mess, and turned it into a moment of brilliance.
A kick of a requisite quality that it deserves some reward on the scoreboard. A 1-point advantage as we tick beyond the half hour. They're trundling their way slowly forward. Carvalho intervenes. Front of the posts, options both sides and straight through the centre. Brave from Carvalho, who was asking to be thumped to the turf, and he duly was. No let up on the physicality from either side, and that defensive thrust that we've seen from the first whistle from this Benetton side. Another loose pass skipping off the turf. So many players in white and black shirts concertinaed into this little pocket of Stadio Monigo territory.
Neck grab.
There's a neck grab been picked up here, so that's a let-off really for Benetton. Just when it looked like La Rochelle were finding rhythm and momentum, camped inside that 22, it comes to nothing.
It's a poor mistake, poor penalty to give away. It's just an easy way for Benetton to clear their lines.
The all-seeing eye of the television match official, Ian Tempest. You get away with nothing these days, which is why it is pointless. Difficult for players, of course, to retrain their brain, having seen it as a skill for so many years, but it's cost La Rochelle here, cost them field position and possession. No contest this time. Out the back come Benetton. Canone, Lorenzo. Issacourt against Kane Douglas.
Use it! The ball is out!
Needs to be quick, Garbisi.
Knock on.
Good contest. Knock-on advantage to Benetton here.
Good playing. Knock on advantage.
Rhino Smith.
Advantage is over.
Time and space to survey the backfield and punches it down into the 22 where it's just about gathered. And a net gain may yet prove to be Benetton's. There's space on this side. Game is very open, very loose. A couple of errant kicks.
Good contest. Use it.
Got away with one there, Benetton. Slipped in attack, got really isolated. Good Leonardo Mara. Just about got away with it, maintaining possession.
Being pinned by 3, no.
Another big carry from Nicolo Canone.
All onside.
Once again, it's
Taken in.
unorthodox in the extreme. It was Nacho Brex that time. Under pressure, got his kick away.
All live.
That ball bounced at 90 degrees towards the touchline.
You're in front of the touch. You're here.
Both sets of players 5 minutes from half-time, blowing a little bit. Hardly surprising given the effort expended. They'll look forward to the time in the sheds to try and regroup, but Marco Bortolami,
6.
albeit with the concession of that try to Jack Noel, will be disappointed with that, but the application and effort of his side, certainly I think he'd be very pleased and encouraged as to what they might be able to manufacture in the second half. Not done in this 40 yet, of course. Not too many people, given the strength of selection from La Rochelle and the fact that they only made one change from last week's game against Leinster, might have given Benetton too much of a hope. Very much in this game, very much in this pool.
No.
Giuliani this time takes it forward, and now Lorenzo Canone once more. Garbisi, swift and slick through Albornoz. Nicolo Canone.
No, 8, no!
No was the call. Thought he might change his mind then when Aldric got his hands on it, but clear, shrill blast, and maybe there's something still in the down embers of this half for the home team.
It's very clear what the referee was saying. Difficult when you're a player because there's so much going on, and still to have the awareness to listen to everything that the referee is saying in a different language, by the way. It's really hard for those players to then change their actions, adjust what they're doing. But that said, presents Albornoz with a perfect opportunity for Benetton.
Struck it well, but it just leaks out to the left-hand side. Died a death literally at the very end. He's annoyed with himself.
It is a good opportunity. Really, La Rochelle, the only real part of this game where they had the complete ascendancy was during that period of time when they were down to 14 men, where they actually just kicked the ball long and chased hard.
That's a very good point. They could do well to simplify the game plan a little, perhaps, and take the initiative and the energy away from Benetton by playing field position. Because every time they get on it, Benetton look dangerous. Nacho Breck stepping up to the plate again, and certainly these two lads, the Canone brothers, have been a big influence. And Gajo now, presentation is excellent. Garbisi did well, and out the back to Albornoz, it was a little bit tight and narrow, and ultimately the handling error comes.
Playing flat to the line, Benetton, with those two forwards up front. They've got the option runner out the back. Perhaps chose the wrong option in the second phase, but they're certainly starting to gain ascendancy in terms of winning that contact. La Rochelle in the early stages just nullifying every attack that Benetton had. Everything was on the gain line. Now they're starting to retreat. feeling that the old magic spray is an excuse for a big puff of breath.
Yeah.
So
let's have a breather. It's been that sort of 37, 38 minutes. Snyman there wearing number 5 on his back for Benetton, coming into the team tonight and captaining them. As I mentioned, Michele Lamaro on the bench. He is the official club captain and has been for a number of seasons. Ready for the thoughts and the potential content of the halftime team chat from that man, Marco Bortolami, stalwart of Italian rugby. 100+ caps down the years in his playing days.
I think he'll be pretty happy. Kept themselves in the hunt.
He seldom looks at it though, does he? Doesn't give much away.
Grumpy forward.
I tell you what, he might just crack a smile if his team can find their way to the try line here in the next 90 seconds or so before half time. Nacho Brex with a little dink over the top.
It's a good option. The ball could have bounced anywhere. Now they've got a chance to have another shot. Go in 13-11. Then maybe, just maybe, he'll crack a smile.
We can play. It's not the goal kicker, is it?
Some discussion as what the play will be, but surely it's a kick at the posts.
Not to step to the outside before he tries to go forward.
See who it is. Albornoz. You heard Matthew Carty just say let's play on if it's not the goal kicker, but that's confirmation that it most definitely is.
Kick and go. Kick and go. If it's clear, the TMO will come to me if there was a high shot there. Okay.
And once again, you can hear the officials. Clear communication to the players. Ian Tempest will be checking that in terms of legality and back being applied to the chin would suggest maybe it is worth a look. It's that right shoulder coming around from Sucheni.
Yeah, I've seen it on the screen. Yeah, thank you.
I'm no surprised that that mitigates a change of kicker. So up steps Rhino Smith now with what is a really important kick. Oh, he struck that beautifully. From the second it left the kicking tee, it was only going one way, straight through the middle. Strike full of conviction, full of confidence, and in many respects reflective of what has been a brilliant opening 40 minutes for the home side Benetton here, up against the two-time former European champions, but Ronan O'Gara's La Rochelle are in a fight and they know it. They will have expected that. It's a tough place to come, a really talented Benetton team. And it is all to play for at the end of a pulsating 40 minutes of rugby that has swung one way and the next. It's had a little bit of everything. Interestingly poised in a very, very tight pool at halftime. It's Benetton 13, La Rochelle 11 at halftime.
con i campioni, i prenotanti costruiti su epcrugby.com e il link di nuove carte per un weekend di rugby indimenticabile. Non mancate, diventate parte della storia.
Welcome back then for what is set potentially to be another enthralling 40 minutes, because this contest and indeed this pool 2 in the Investec Champions Cup, a long way from being sorted out. That late penalty from Rhino Smith and the final kick of what was an exhilarating opening 40 minutes has handed the lead here to Marco Bortolami's Benetton against La Rochelle. Also really important to keep one eye on what happens at the Aviva Stadium in Dublin, where it kicked off at the same time as this, and I can tell you that Bath have forged their way in front against Leinster in what also looks like a really good contest. 3 tries apiece. Bath lead it by a couple of points. So Leinster, La Rochelle, Clermont, Bath and Benetton all in contention as we sort out the pool standings at the end of the affair here in around about 40 minutes time, a little more than that.
Advantage over.
Really good effort in the opening half from Benetton. Can they keep it going? They're going to have an early penalty advantage here to try and puncture a hole in this La Rochelle rearguard. Was that spilled forward? No, it was under control and kept a hold of, and it's one of those punching runs again from Lorenzo Canone. The ball didn't quite go to hand for Maile, otherwise they might have been further trouble for La Rochelle, but it's a good opening salvo on attack from Benetton early in the second half.
Brilliant line from Garbisi, really just dropping the ball, but exactly the opposite start that O'Gara and La Rochelle would have wanted. The message at half-time would definitely be Let's play right down on top of Benetton. They're not going to go 80 metres. Let's sit on them and just add pressure. From a Benetton perspective, I'm sure the message would have been the defensive systems work pretty well. Our scramble has worked defensively. We just need to play further up the field, and that's exactly what they've created here. Playing in the right areas of the field, there's always an opportunity that you might get offered a penalty. And from this distance, 3 points.
No mistake. Straightforward, simple. Keep the scoreboard ticking over. Try and open up an advantage, eke out a little bit of breathing space, but it feels like the kind of game that will go the full 80 minutes. So much at stake for both these sides now. La Rochelle coming into the evening, remember, 2 wins out of 3, that 1 defeat against Leinster last week on home soil at the Marcel Delflandre. 10 points from their opening 3 matches. Leinster top of the pool on 13. It's all changing this evening. That was a risky pass.
Advantage. No clear release.
That's brought penalty advantage as Benetton swarmed on top of Dylan Lades, who was
still playing,
assessed for a head injury,
and
get out, rejoined the fray with that penalty advantage. Kick through and back we go.
It was just daft from Benetton. They haven't done that all game. They've cleared their lines well. Their exit strategy has functioned. It's been well organised. And the one errant pass, there's no need to go wide there. There wasn't acres of space to be trying to exploit. And they've put themselves under incredible pressure here, probably 5 or 6 metres from their own line.
Linia. Numbers. Thank you.
La Rochelle seldom let you off the hook when it's a self-inflicted injury. Benetton find themselves backs to the wall here, all hands to the pump at maul time.
9! Use it!
Should they not get go forward, Dylan Lades and co take up position. There he is wearing 11 out the back for that little pullback, which doesn't come. It's picked up instead by Kerr Barlow. In the shadow of the posts now. Penalty advantage.
7, get off the ball, tackle.
Discipline will be key for the remainder of this game. We've seen it too many times from Benetton where they can be the architects of their own downfall, getting sloppy twice in the space of 2 or 3 minutes now. They've made life difficult for themselves.
That's fine.
Aldreet. Shegu on his shoulder. Options aplenty. Boudinot, haven't seen too much of him so far in the game in terms of those big carries that were so evident, particularly in the opening 20 minutes last week against Leinster. There's a pretty big lung-busting carry from Antonio, and it opens up the space because it took 2 or 3 to stop him, and it's an easy finish in the end, and that is a big score. Just punching holes, finding space, opening up the gap, and having started the half really well with that penalty, La Rochelle now make Benetton pay.
Well, that's really just a reflection of what repeated errors can do to you as a team. When you make one error, you have to really focus on your accuracy to make sure that you don't back that up with a second one or a third one, because generally teams that do that can see points. Especially when you combine it with a barnstorming run from someone who probably has a programme weight of 140 kilos, but it's probably a lot more. Antonio and Hastoy knocking over the extra 2. It's poor play, poor management from Benetton, and really, after what was exactly the start they would have wanted, they've undone all of that good work.
And therein lies the frustration for Marco Bortolami and indeed these Benetton supporters. I mentioned the experience and the ballast they have on the bench. Federico Ruzza is almost ready to come in. Interesting to see exactly where he's deployed and for whom. 18 points to 16, 46 minutes. Every point, every kick, absolutely crucial now in the final pecking order of this pool, and indeed the seedings and who you might get home or away in the round of 16. It's always the case in the final round of games in the pool stages. So much jeopardy, as I said at the top of the programme. You always feel against a side like La Rochelle when you concede a cheap penalty like that. It was a good couple of carries, as you mentioned, from Wino Antonio, but it's a simple try for Carbarlo at the end of the affair, and how hard Benetton have to work to try and find holes in this resolute rear guard of La Rochelle in particular.
Well, when they're conceding yards to La Rochelle, they're finding it really difficult to get those first defenders in and around the breakdown, those guard and half defenders, which are key to the structure of the whole system.
Really good line again from Lorenzo Canoni, opening up the door for Benetton, but La Rochelle quick to get numbers there and snuff out the next carry. Albornoz. Fekatoa, a little bit of an outside gap there. He thought he had the acceleration to get beyond Aldreet, who recovered well.
Whites, come out, Whites!
It's well covered, but it's into the hands of Albornoz now, and Smith.
Good choice,
No way through, and Oscar Jagu was lurking with intent, trying to get himself into that jackal position. Garbisi to Albornoz again. Fekatoa now takes it up. Canoni wanted it, and they take a different route. Gajo, oh, there's Aldreet, that's brilliant.
Taken in.
Exceptional from the captain. It's a big turnover, having soaked up considerable pressure. And Matt Gallagher thumps it 60 metres back down the pitch. Bernie mentioned him so far this evening out on that left wing. He's seen precious little of the ball. I felt there had to be.
You've all got to retreat outside 10.
Something in there, so penalty is the decision.
It's a horrible kick. It's a horrible place for all of those players where the ball's descending down and you're having to work so hard. You heard the referee there. When it's coming down on top of you, you have to retreat 10 metres. That's something the forwards hate. When the ball's going backwards and forwards, they're stuck in the middle and they're basically having to just do shuttles. And you can imagine a man like that does not do shuttles. Interesting. After his first shot, obviously pulled rank.
It's a sweet connection. Penalty right on half time. This one a good deal further out on the angle as well, in particular. Getting tight for time, and it's coming around. He's judged that beautifully. That's superb from Rhino Smith. And he might just keep a hold of those kicking duties. It's a lovely strike.
And it's a good weapon for Benetton to have. La Rochelle, warning shots fired. You give penalties away this far out. Rhino Smith quite happy to just step up, take the 3 points on offer. Brilliant kick.
I do sometimes wonder about the impact of big hits as well. We saw Albornoz shipping a massive hit, which some of the Benetton players, and certainly he felt might have been a little bit high, or certainly borderline. You think back to last week, and Astoy missed a couple of kicks, having been absolutely opened up by Gary Ringrose, and they're bound to take their impact. Wino Antonio, meantime, is among 2 or 3 La Rochelle players whose evening is over, as Ronan O'Gara looks to the bench for a little bit of fresh legs out there.
Exactly the kick receipt that Benetton would have worked on during the week in preparation for this game. No one dominating that area, and it's just served up possession easily for La Rochelle, but fortunately for the home team, they turn it over. Clunky.
It certainly was. Flurry of changes from Benetton too, so a little bit of reorganisation going on.
Benetton, let's go.
Federico for Rutza for Ellie Snyman is confirmed, and I see Michele Lamaro out there as well for Manuel Zuriani. Andy Uren has come in for Alessandro Garbisi. Three very useful talents to bring in at this stage of the game.
Crouch! Bind!
Change in the La Rochelle backline as well. Osmer in for Bryce Dulin.
Use it! Stay here, stay. Thank you, Andy.
It's a huge kick, booming kick all the way down to Dylan Lades.
Back there, Hamish.
Thumps it back towards halfway. Still anyone's guess as to what will transpire over the next 30 minutes or thereabouts.
Some pretty big kicks all evening, to be honest. Dulin, Hastoy, and smashing the ball really deep into Benetton territory. Benetton now doing exactly the same.
Wait.
Well, a really tough pull, and Benetton back in this competition for the first time in 4 or 5 seasons, 2019-20. The last time they've gone deep into the Challenge Cup. They find themselves here with half an hour to go in this pool, in this game. Very much in the hunt for further progress into the knockout stages. Uncharted territory. The referee playing penalty advantage all the while. Opportunity for field position again.
La Rochelle, big line speed. Benetton having to pass the ball so deep to try and get round the back of La Rochelle to those edges. Nacho Brex having to step back inside, try and straighten up. Oof. Tell you what, that with the angle is a big kick.
Yeah, he fancied it straight away. You could see the Benetton players looking around. There was a little nod of the head from Rhino Smith. Well, the clock has run out. The clock on the top left of your picture still had a couple of seconds left on it. The officials see it otherwise, and that is a big error. I was distracted by the clock. He seemed to give it a very good thump. It was on its way, but that's a big let off. Time was off in the stadium.
Time was clearly up on the clock in the stadium.
The previous kick, he did go right down to 2 or 3 seconds also, going through his routine and ritual.
It's interesting, if you're not a frontline kicker and you're not doing that all the time, that's something that Thomas Albanots will be acutely aware of. Maybe you build that into part of your routine. Actually, Rhino Smith spends so long getting his feet aligned. It's a bit like a golfer, isn't it? They have to get the tee shot, the setup is perfect. When you're not that comfortable, of course it's comfortable, when you're not that used to kicking in big game situations, perhaps that's what's cost him.
So that's disappointing from a Benetton point of view. Interesting to see what they do next time. It's going to be difficult to try and beat a team like La Rochelle with the firepower and the try-scoring ability that they have with a succession of penalties. Benetton have given away a penalty of their own, almost on their try line, and they have been made pay. La Rochelle points from close range, and it's another big score. Carbarlo again on hand, doing a lot of damage in this second half. But I was just saying, if you're going to try and beat La Rochelle by kicking penalties, you have to be so tight defensively, because they can punish you with 5-7 points time and again out of nothing, and that's exactly what La Rochelle have done here.
It's just twice now that you think Benetton, they've just been a bit sleepy. The ball was kicked over the top by Jack Noel. It was a brilliant kick chase, but Rhino Smith regathered possession. He had ample time to try and do something with it, actually passed the ball to Matt Gallagher. He had no options, ended up with two defenders opposite him. He couldn't really do anything, and then they turned the ball over. Quick thinking from Carbarlo, and it's a 7-pointer.
Well, they're absolutely delighted. It's a cheap 7 points.
It's those areas of the game really that you see a lot of French teams live on, that switch, the transition from having the ball to whatever happens next, whatever the referee decides. Their ability to switch on to the next job is brilliant.
And then just keep it simple, consolidate what you've just invested in at the other end of the pitch. By no means an easy kick that was wasted by Rhino Smith, but it feels like a 10-point swing, perhaps. Controversial moment. Rhino Smith pulled back right as he was about to strike the ball, but that's all in the past now. They've got to live for the next 23 minutes. Respond and riposte straight away, and that's a decent bit of hands out in that back line. We've not seen too much of this man all evening, Matt Gallagher, and you can see he wants to get fully involved. Albornoz now, some of the replacements in off the bench looking to play their part. Turned over, likewise from a La Rochelle point of view. Colombe doing well, clambering his way forward, in a similar vein to that of Antonio prior to him. Well, there's another penalty now. Vault is, well, he'll claim he was held in there, but the referee on hand, shrill blast, and what happens now?
You take 3 points, but you don't let the clock run out.
Yeah.
That is the key.
Put the ball on the floor like they did for
Georges-Henri Leclerc,
If it's clear the TMO will come.
pumping his legs. Poor old Matt Gallagher is hanging on like a little fly on his back.
Some of those big collisions are being replayed on the massive screen away behind the goal to our left-hand side. The supporters enjoying but wincing at the physicality which has been evident right from the first whistle.
How good's that band been at the breakdown? I reckon that's 2 or 3 turnovers we've seen. Gets his hands on the ball and then just offloads, tries to shift that point of attack, move the ball away from where he's turned it over. Brilliant player.
So at this point, the clock has been off and running for a few seconds already. Once the referee sounds his whistle, following an indication from the team in possession of the penalty that they're going to kick a goal, you're under starters' orders.
Have a little look there, isn't it? He's aware.
Stop, sorry. Right. Just go back. Okay. Can we have the time on, please?
I'll tell you what, this is not what Rhino Smith needs. Obviously the shot clock is on our screens, which is now perilously close to 0.
At this moment in time, I can tell you it's not on in the stadium, which is why Matthew Carley wants to be absolutely certain.
Do we have a problem with the time?
Might just be afforded a little bit of leniency here in respect of the hold-up was none of his doing by any means. There we go.
Reloaded it and added a few. Perfect.
Sometimes these straight ones are just that little bit more tricky, particularly for a right footer coming down the field, but he makes no mistake. That wasn't easy in the circumstances, under the pressure with the reload. Great strike.
He held his nerve well. That's really tough.
Are we happy to play?
To sit there and wait. Having gone through, I think probably in the back of his mind, he knows he's got a good strike on him. He's connected well with the previous kicks. Just an error in terms of his processing on the last one.
Further activity from the benches.
Don't pin him in. The ball is there. You
has come in
pinned
there
him.
wearing number 20 for Benetton.
Use it. Taken in.
58 caps, almost 100 appearances in that Benetton shirt over the last number of years. No let up in the physicality. He'll be out hunting La Rochelle's big ball carriers, replacing Alessandro Izakur. Again, he gets his hands free. Carvalho shifts it on to Astroy. Forging forward is Noel again.
Tackle.
Massive 20 minutes. Particularly you feel for Benetton in the context of their season. It would be such a fillip to take a scalp like La Rochelle on home soil in this competition on this weekend.
What a hit from Sebastian Negri. Just the impact you want from someone coming on his left. I think it's Souteni on the floor.
Souteni felt that straight into the rib cage. 60 minutes of frustration from Sebastian Negri in that hit, and
no, we play.
Looks worse initially than it is, because he is brought back to ground eventually without too much danger. But it was worrisome initially.
Time off.
You should have to think in that position.
Put that on the screen, please.
Why? I don't actually think it's Federico Ruzza in that scenario. I think I might be doing him a disservice, but it looked like it could have been one of the props. There's no point in doing that when you know the man's tackled and engaged. I think, who is it?
Yeah, you're right. It's the replacement tight head, isn't it? It's Zolochi.
What's the number of the second row? The other number 18. Number 18. It's a dangerous lift and twist, and he's only saved by the front of the
Yeah, it's worth another look. And listening to Matthew Carley,
I agree, Matthew.
I think it's going to be a yellow card here.
18.
Yeah, it is the replacement tight head, Giosi Zolochi.
What makes it less dangerous, not his action,
Rash
so
and
it's a yellow card.
unnecessary. And it's that.
Play the line out.
It's the flip of the feet.
Greg.
Taking Jack Noel well beyond the horizontal, and it's dangerous. And it's yellow, and that could be so crucial in the context of this game. At this stage of the game, heading into the final quarter, down numbers.
Dangerous. It's daft. Quite frankly,
Come up,
pointless.
Treviso, come up.
Saved by his teammate, Federico Ruzza, who actually stopped any sort of danger in the scenario, but it just serves up a great opportunity, not only here for La Rochelle, but over the next 10 minutes.
They've fluffed their lines on the initial one. They've handed the initiative to Rhino Smith and Benetton here. Kicks one in behind at full throttle. And the chase for Rhino Smith in particular. That's a brilliant tackle from a player who's 5'7" and 80 kilograms. Massive.
Off his feet first before reloading, him, but stop the counter ruck. Up, please. Chest down on the floor.
The learnings from this are do exactly what La Rochelle did early on in the game. take the 3 points, level the game up. That's twice. It was Jack Noel on the receiving end of the previous hit that saw the yellow card, but Rhino Smith, you can still execute a massive tackle in this game. So many people say, oh, you can't tackle now, you can't be really competitive in that area. Yes, you can. You just got to get it right technically.
And that is a seismic momentum shift. From the needless, the reckless, the pointless at the other end, from the turnover, that acceleration and speed from Smith.
They're fine, they're fine.
No other option but to kick it in behind.
Stay where
and
you
then
are
it was
now,
all on the
still.
chase. Brilliant tackle.
Thank you.
And he's been central to everything, hasn't he? Kicking goals, adding pace, quality.
And he won't miss from there. 25 points apiece. This pull this afternoon. You think of what happened earlier between Clermont and Bristol at the Marcel Michelin. Really tight game in Dublin as well. Could go either way. Nothing to choose between them here. No point in thinking of final standings and permutations just yet, because there's way too much in the melting pot. Lots of other teams will be looking at this pool, trying to figure out who their team is going to meet in the round of 16. It could go any which way in terms of the final standings.
Yeah, come out, thank you.
All the way down from top to Challenge Cup.
Always worries me at this stage of the season.
9, no.
Irish shocking at maths at school. And permutations,
Out of the 10, out of the 10.
opportunities for teams. It's just a nightmare. I'll leave that to you if we get to that point.
Don't look over here for full responsibility. There's too much at stake. So much could still happen. We haven't even got into try bonus points and 5 points versus 4. As it stands at the moment, a couple each here,
Tackle.
2 for the draw, which is how it was in France between Clermont and Bristol, with 77 minutes on the watch. We've got to keep fully switched on here, Benetton, for the full 80. As we've seen, even within this game, they have the capacity, the propensity to switch off at times, and you can't do that against this La Rochelle side. They're too good. Too many explosive talents around as Buzz Marine once again gets his hands on it. No space to work in.
Use it. Play the ball.
Take your pick, 15 to go. A couple of tries for Kerr Barlow. Try last week against Bristol from Matt Gallagher. Brilliant try it was too. Again involved in Missouri colours for Italy in the November series against Georgia. Once again, that kick chase and the big tackle in evidence. They're screaming for a turnover. The ball is it available for La Rochelle? If it is, only just.
Certainly under pressure at the breakdown. The intensity of the collisions from Benetton has definitely gone up, led by Negri, no doubt.
And that was the ploy, that was the tactic. They knew that if they were in the game coming into 60 minutes, they could look to that bench. Forward they come, and a phalanx to make life very difficult for Dylan Lades. Nothing easy, doesn't find his touch over on that far side. And it's all on here for Benetton. You can sense the belief inside the Estadio Manigo. Benetton supporters off their feet time and again, and hands free. Lovely little combination from those two replacements, Federico Ruzza and Sebastian Negri. And here they come again, Albornoz, Galjo, Aldrit. Oh, there's hands in there from Jegu, and that's cynical. It sucks the life out of the Benetton attack, or does it? Because they're foraging forward again, still coming, twisting and driving. That's a try. Bernasconi bundling, bashing and pirouetting in the end, the full 180 turn, and he crashes over. It was he who scored the match-winning try beyond 80 minutes against Bath here a few weeks ago, and that is a massive score in the context of this game. Down to 14, and they come up with a huge 5-pointer.
A brilliant contribution.
Matthew, I am asking for replays, but not being shown them, so stand by.
From Rutzer and Sebastian Negri. That's really cynical from Paul Boudehon. Knew exactly what he was doing. Big questions asked, or they have to be asked there, of his actions. But what a response from Benetton.
Everything being checked and rechecked, such is the importance of every action here. Every action of that man, Rhino Smith, who makes absolutely no mistake to send it out to 32 points to 25.
Well, look out. If ever there's a handful. Livani Bottia. Anyone that could play in the back row or the centre, by the way, he's going to back row, is an absolute machine and a dangerous one, and that's him.
Well, it's a right-all contest, a right-all battle that Ronan O'Gara's La Rochelle find themselves in just now. Ian Tempest is still checking something. Hearts and mouths, no official check of the screen. The try is good, the conversion good, replacements are plenty on confirmation of those top left of your screen. 7-point game, 14 against 15. La Rochelle in a hurry now to find a response. They've done it each time they've been put to the pin of their collar by this Benetton side so far this evening, and you would not bet against the likes of Southend and Hastoy manufacturing something from even out there in the field. That's a penalty for not rolling away right on halfway.
It was tough for Nacho Brett's good defensive read, solid tackle. He just got stuck in the wrong side of that ruck. Really difficult to then extricate yourself from those situations.
Brings so much experience as well, and now Sebastian Negri Rutzer also at this level. Oh, that was very flat to the onrushing La Rochelle player. Doesn't matter in any case, they are bossing the breakdown now. It's a concern for the La Rochelle player at the bottom of that latest ruck as well. Matthew Colley's quickly signalling for some medical support. Sure, it's 5, isn't it?
There's a lot going on in there. I'm not sure there's anything we can call foul play. It's just getting clouted by various different limbs of different people. So much intensity in those breakdowns. So much at stake for both teams. Competition in that area all evening. It's been outstanding. Time, I'm sure it was Lorenzo Canone getting his mitts on the ball. When he's got his hands on the ball, so difficult for Bosmarat to try and remove him.
La Rochelle, as things stand, and it's not quite into desperation stakes just yet. 32 points to 25. One more try, of course, for a try bonus point to get themselves something from the game at the very least at this juncture, given how tight it is in the pool.
Use it. That ball is out.
It's another one of those thumping kicks going towards the 22. Now off he goes. Tom did flag it that he can just scythe his way through from anywhere on the field. Bosmarini's so impactful, so dangerous. It's brought penalty advantage. Here he is again. A thumping hit this time takes him to ground, and ceremoniously so.
Don't do that. Place the ball on. Come back to the high tackle.
Hastoy has a decision to make here. Yeah, there's that high tackle. No question about it.
Greg. Mate, I'm not sure if he understands.
It's a little bit further back, so there was no real conversation required around the shot at goal. Saw him miss one from halfway last week against Leinster, but 7 points behind, 10 minutes to go. 22. Minor beckons.
How many? 6. Out, please, 10 metres. 5. Still moving forwards.
Still going forwards.
Still moving.
Slowly at first, and now extra numbers coming in. Benetton scrambling around to try and reorganise. Grinds to a halt. Options left and right, and straight through the centre on that short line from Bosmarine. Hastoy now. Two options to the right hand side for Kerr Barlow. Haddad was one of those. Patient from La Rochelle. There's an arm around the neck there, nothing doing for the officials. Assistant referee talking to Matthew Carley. And they've withstood the pressure. La Rochelle have fluffed their lines again and coughed up possession. You can see what it means to this Benetton team and Sebastian Negri.
He's been brilliant since he's come on. Collisions, competition close to the breakdowns. Applied a huge amount of pressure to Lavani Bottia. You can see wearing number 20 on the bottom right hand side of your screen. He is a sizable human being, but Sebastian Negri catching him on the gain line, causing him to spill the ball.
Two tries for the 32 points, 20 points via the boot for Benetton. 8 minutes to go. Were it to stay like this, they would move on to 11 points, which would put them in prime position. They would certainly take Bath out of the equation in terms of the top 4. Clermont on 10 points, and then it's all eyes on what's happening between Leinster and Bath at the Aviva. Remember leading at half-time, but it's all still there to be decided.
Set up, please.
Leinster have forged a handsome lead in that game, so
Time on.
Bath crucially with 3 tries as it stands at the moment. 2 for Tommy Glanville and 1 for Barbary as well, all in the first half. They haven't scored yet in the second half, and Leinster have helped themselves to 21 points.
They both missed their bye.
So they've turned the tables there.
Come in. Behind the mark.
You just get the feeling this is a massive set piece for Benetton. They can maintain possession, give any sort of opportunity to La Rochelle here. Just got this feeling that the French team will take it. It's exactly what they wait for. This is all about accuracy and detail.
Set. Take it out, take it out.
2 front rows are down, and Benetton warned to play it from the base as they duly oblige and do from Canone.
Enough, enough. Let it come, let it come.
Still plenty of time in this game, but you don't want to be playing in these areas if you don't have to.
Use it.
Any mistake could be so costly, season changing in fact. Ball didn't find touch in Leeds. Tries to get La Rochelle moving again, and Jack Noel, more often than not tonight when he's been in possession, has got his team doing just that, taken on by that man Bottia. Hastoy, Aldreed, Suteni, good change of direction. Hard step off that line, almost exposing a little hole straight through the middle of the Benetton defence, and then an errant pass. Doesn't go to hand. Jack Noel backtracking.
Rochelle's attack has rather undone itself. Just felt that Andy Uren's kick should have made touch. You don't want to be serving up possession to this La Rochelle back three. They're happy though, aren't they? To kick ball away there at this stage of the game.
Yep.
Still needing to get a try. They're confident in their ability to still win this.
Just lost control on the floor, number 15.
Rhino Smith, it was an ambitious little dart behind that blind side, and ultimately it hasn't paid dividends for Benetton. Big tackle going in. And I agree, it's a strange choice from La Rochelle. They've come up. There's that hit from Bottia. He's been on the receiving end of a few this evening, Albornoz.
Okay.
Gallagher was having a quiet word with Lavani Bottia, but I'm not sure there's anything to complain about there. That is a solid hit from a rather large bloke. He has been batted from tiller to post as Albornoz this evening.
I didn't see it because I followed the ball.
And just to stress the importance once again, from a La Rochelle point of view, yes, it'll be historic and seismic from Benetton if they can hold on here. It's La Rochelle in possession off this scrum, but were they to finish as it is, not with a bonus point, they'll be on the road in the knockout stages of the Champions Cup, and it gets so difficult when you're in that realm of, particularly with that seeding, which will drop a few places as well. Down they go, and this time full penalty. It's been a little bit messy with all the changes in there as well, but this now is a gilt-edged opportunity. Not much on the angle for Hastoy to play with here, but just inside the 22 will do.
Well, it's probably not end up exactly where Hastoy would have wanted that. You thought he might have got a bit greedier on where he was trying to aim for. That said, again, this is all about accuracy from Benetton. Don't offer opportunities.
And they don't. They make amends. They get themselves out of their own little predicament with a big, big turnover. Ball was out. Aldreed went fishing for it, and look at that for a turnover. The line-out steal is duly nullified. Here they come again. Favre on that little switch from his midfield partner, Suteni on the short pass. Benetton again almost guilty of just switching off there at ruck time. There was a little bit of space around the fringes, almost ruthlessly exposed. Aldreed now leading the charge, carrying the fight. Very nearly saw a drawn game earlier in this pool in France. Are we to see one here in Treviso? They're lining up, they're queuing up, shoulder to shoulder. Aldreed absolutely no. He puts to the pin of their collar this Benetton side. Can they stop? That's a brilliant tackle. Bone shuddering. Bodies on the line. And they've got to sandbag that whitewash now and protect it with their lives as though their season depends on it. This could be the difference between Challenge Cup or Champions Cup knockout stages for Benetton here. Home advantage or an away run in the Champions Cup. A couple of different penalty advantages there. They're in danger of going down numbers for the last couple of minutes here. It may prove academic. Still advantages. Jack Noel went hunting.
They just need to find a way to kill this ball to Benetton. That could be one of them.
It's another massive collision. Astroy now backs himself when he had Buzz Marine out wide. Relentless. Still advantage. Offside. Bottia. You cannot fault the effort of these Benetton players on this defensive stand. Hit after hit to repel the La Rochelle ball carrier time and again.
Well, they're going backwards by La Rochelle. It's a huge effort from Benetton, but still advantage exists.
Never-ending advantage. Back up to 5 meters. Now do they roll the dice? Under penalty advantage. Hatsjoy kicks one crossfield, plucked out of the sky by Leonardo Marin. Buzz Marin can't get his hands on it. Well, they're going back for the penalty. What did he do here?
Time's off, time's off.
All options on the table and will duly be assessed. Tap penalty would seem like a pretty good option when you look at the bulk and size and ballast of some of those ball carriers.
Well, if you tap the ball and it ends up in Georges-Henri Colombe's hand, 4 or 5 meters from the line, all the best, Benetton. It'd be a monumental effort to keep him out from that distance. No point in going to touch.
It's pretty fair from Matthew Colley. What exactly are you doing here in the 79th minute with these boys camped 5 meters out? Off we go then. All here and now. Clear and present danger for Benetton Treviso against La Rochelle. And that man, how do you stop him? They manage it somehow. It took a few, and it will take a few more to stop Aldreet and co. Bottia too. Out of the frying pan and into the fire. Release the ball was the cry, and he didn't. Listen to the noise around the Stadio Monego now. They're all on their feet. Benetton believe that that is it. It's the last stand, the defensive stand that may prove historic here.
He never let go of that ball, did he? Desperate to just move again, to get back to his feet, to continue the attack. Levani Bottia gives the penalty away that surely must give Benetton one of their most incredible nights, not just in European rugby, but in their whole history.
Take your pick. Somebody has to go home with the award, but it's a team effort, 1-23. But he has been absolutely huge tonight, Lorenzo Canone. And this man, in terms of kicking his goals and sparking attacks, and it's almost laughable that some of the Benetton players are trying to calm each other down now. How do you remain calm the final 10 seconds of what is a truly remarkable, incredible performance? 32 points to 25. They've just got to get the ball off the park now. History beckons here for Benetton. There's a flurry of bodies towards the ruck. Hackett anywhere, Rosehead will do. What a night for Benetton. They have lowered the colours of the two-time former European Champions Cup champions La Rochelle on home soil. On an unforgettable night for Benetton. They will progress in this competition. 1 or 2 I's and T's to be dotted and crossed, depending on what happens in Dublin between Leinster and Bath. But all of a sudden, the complexion of the Champions Cup for Ronan O'Gara and La Rochelle gets that much more difficult. Benetton will have been written off by many ahead of this. La Rochelle didn't. Ronan O'Gara won't have. but my goodness me, are Benetton good value for what is a truly unbelievable result. They earned it from first whistle to last. At times they made it difficult for themselves, but what a defensive stand for what felt like an age right at the very end. We've seen Benetton go deep into the Challenge Cup. Their ambition this season seems higher, and they are on the march now in the Champions Cup. They've taken the 4 match points, which brings them up to 11 points in the group. They pass out Bath, they pass out Clermont, they pass out La Rochelle, some big names going down the way in this pool. Benetton on the rise and in the ascendancy. What a game of rugby, what a finish to a pulsating contest at the Stadio Monigo. Look at that scoreline once again. Benetton 32, La Rochelle 25.
So congratulations, you are the Investec Champions Cup Player of the Match. Massive win today for Benetton Rugby. What made the difference for you in this game?
No, beh, sicuramente è stata una bravissima partita, fisica come ci si aspettava. Loro è una squadra molto completa, molto compatta. Abbiamo sfidati lì fisicamente, infatti abbiamo visto il risultato, siamo una grande squadra, infatti le grandi squadre le vediamo negli ultimi minuti, abbiamo detto fino alla fine, questo è quello che ci ha portato a casa il risultato. Ecco.
Said the Benetton Rugby made a difference physically, and in the final minutes Benetton Rugby did better. They think in front of La Rochelle, it's a big team. Benetton Rugby, it's a historic win because the first time Benetton Rugby went to the round of 16 in Champions Cup. How much confidence give you this win? Quanta confidenza vi dà questa vittoria?
No, beh, sicuramente sì, abbiamo fatto, diciamo, un pezzo di storia del club. Questa partita ci dà una confidenza assurda per andare oltre ad sfidare altre squadre, quello che volevamo, e siamo pronti. Ora pensiamo a un'altra cosa, però questa partita ci fa veramente più che bene.
Thank you, Lorenzo, congratulations.
Grazie mille, grazie a tutti.
So I said that. Coach, first of all, congratulations. It's a very massive win for the club, for Benetton Rugby. You made history with this win. How do you feel in this moment?
Unbelievable. We made history for Italian rugby against double champions in the last 3 years. That's something, I think the boys imagine something almost impossible, and they make it real today. So they deserve that because they work so hard, and they believe. And they believe in even if when we are behind, and we knew the last half an hour was going to be our game, and we finished the game. We finished the game with a try, and our defensive was outstanding at the end. So yeah.
14 against 15 for the 10 minutes in the second half, but Benetton Rugby made 10 points, conceded 0 points. Do you think that made the difference? That's 10 minutes in the game.
Yeah, I think every moment of the game was crucial, especially such against a good team. So yes, that was one of the moments, but we won a lot of them, or most of them, and that was delivered the result. So credit to the boys.
Thank you, coach, and congratulations again for this.
Thank you very much.
New advantage. Roll. Okay. New advantage. Roll. Okay. Knock on by La Rochelle. That's fine. New advantage. Roll. Okay. Knock on by La Rochelle. That's fine. New advantage. Roll. Okay. Knock on by La Rochelle. That's fine. New advantage. Roll. Okay. Knock on by La Rochelle. That's fine. Happy that was all my... Advantage. I'm happy that was all my... I'm happy that was all my... pace, has he? Thank you. Thank you. Tackle! Leave it, put it down. Play. 13, thank you. Tackle! Leave it, put it down. Play. Leave it, put it down. Play. Leave it, put it down. Play. Advantage. Penalty advantage. Advantage. Advantage.
C'est la Rochelle, ici, c'est la Rochelle. Rochelle. Allez, ciao, va arriver.
Santé, hein. À la victoire.
Faut s'hydrater avant le début.
Ouais, c'est pour la bourse.
advantage. Far too long. New advantage. Roll. Okay. Knock on by La Rochelle. That's fine. Excuse me. Penalty advantage. Who said on the angle? Momentum and he didn't propel himself, just double check because he landed just short. Yeah, he gets driven there.
Le squadre che stanno entrando in questo momento in campo sono le under 8, under 10, under 12.
An advantage. I don't react, guys. Backwards. Send them on. Tackle! Leave it, put it down. Right. Over 15. Knock on advantage. Advantage over. Went off his feet. Penalty advantage. New advantage. Roll. Okay. New advantage. Roll. Okay. Knock on by La Rochelle. That's fine. New advantage. Roll. Okay. Knock on by La Rochelle. That's fine. New advantage. Roll. Okay. Knock on by La Rochelle. That's fine. New advantage. Roll. Okay. Knock on by La Rochelle. That's fine. Happy that was all my advantage. I'm happy that was all my happy that was all my Thank you. Thank you. Tackle! Leave it, put it down. Play. 13, thank you. tackle! Leave it, put it down. Play. Leave it, put it down. Play. Leave it, put it down. Play.